So today I'm here with episode 3 of my F125 My Team Career Mode with Apxgp, and today we have the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm going to be driving as Sonny for this race because I drove as Josh Pierce for last race, and I guess what I'm going to do for the rest of the season is alternate between which driver I pick for each race. And it looks like this is going to be the first race weekend which is completely in the dry, and that's good for me because if you watched last episode you'll know how much I struggled in the rain in China. So I'm glad we're not going to have any rain this weekend. So now I'm going to get into practice, and just before I get into any practice I was asked in the comments to show my camera settings, so these are the camera settings I'm using. And now I'm going to do practice, so I'll see you in qualifying. So I've come straight out on track here basically for my first lap in Q1. So I want to get the banker in early while there's no traffic on track. Really quick into there, I had to brake pretty hard there to slow myself down enough. Felt pretty good through those S's though. Don't even need to brake there, just lift off. I just remembered about the overtake button. I can use that in qualifying. I've not used it at all this lap, so let's use it now before I forget again. Now we're going to run to the line, see where this is going to put us, and Stroll is out of the session. Oh, well done, Lance Stroll. Has he hit the other Aston Martin? Is he hit his teammate? Oh no, it's a Mercedes, it's not an Aston. Still, it shows the AI is not great. The AI exit in the pits is really bad. They just get completely in your way, but also Stroll's AI should have known to avoid that. Good job, Lance Stroll. But anyway, we are currently second, and there is the wreckage of Lance Stroll's car, which has just disappeared. Okay, looking at these times, we've been really quick so far. I don't even know if I'll need a second lap here. I don't think I will. Esteban Ocon, top of the timing charts though. He's done amazing with that first lap. So we are currently in 4th, and the cars in the bottom 6 are all in the 132s. So I think I can risk not going out again. I think I'll be all right. Yep, we are through to Q2 in P4. So I've come basically straight out on track again for this first lap in Q2. And I'm going to have someone right in the way. It's Liam Lawson. He wasn't actually right in the way, just about was out of the way there, I think. So I think I was okay. But I have come out on the used set of softs from Q1 to start this session. Because presuming I get there, I want 2 sets of fresh softs for Q3. Or potentially a fresh set for the race. I haven't decided yet. Gonna be honest though, this lap so far hasn't been the best. It's not been awful. I've used a lot of overtake down there, probably too much. That was quite poor through there, didn't gear down enough either, so yeah, this hasn't been a great lap, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm P11 so far with that lap, which isn't awful, and only a couple of attempts off what I did in Q1. So shows the track's ramping up a bit, so hopefully on the fresh tires I'll do a lot better. So come around here to start our second lap in Q2. So hopefully can have a better lap here than the last lap and get into Q3. Gone a bit deep there though. Oh, that was really poor. Ran so wide through there. We are up 2 tenths though, but still wasn't great. Oh my god. That's thrown me out very wide, but somehow still up on my delta. That definitely felt like a better exit out of there this time. Get the battery on, and we'll push ourselves along here. I'm only 2 tenths up, so I've really got to pull it out in this last chicane, I think, if I want to get through to Q3 here. This has been an awful lap. And I pulled out 5 tenths there pretty much, which should help me to get through to Q3. Please help me to get through to Q3. Yes, it did. Came through in 6th, so I realised on the lap before I braked a bit early into that chicane, so I knew I had time to gain, so braked a little later and I gained a lot of time there. And just that 2 tenths may have just been enough. We may have just made it through, I'm not sure. But either way, we did make it through with the lap we did. So we are on a fresh set of softs here for our first lap in Q3. I've decided I want to use both fresh sets of softs. Try and get the best lap possible here. Because I want to qualify as high on the grid as possible. for a best chance of a good finishing position as possible. So I did well in China when it was in the dry, so hopefully I can do the same here. Better through there than last time. Still took a lot of curb on the inside, a little bit of a slide there, but neither of them have hampered me too much. A little bit of slide on exit there as well. So slightly scruffy lap this time, so I'll have to improve on the next one. Felt pretty quick through there though until we got to here, understeering out wide. Need to try and come in tight on that corner because otherwise you just understeer to the edge of the circuit. And now we're going to run to the line here, see where it's going to put me after this first lap, and I'm going to be up in 5th. And everyone has done their first lap here, and I am in 5th at the minute, so that's actually really good. And I've just noticed Joshua Pearce didn't make it through to Q3, so I'm doing pretty well right now, fighting in and amongst the better cars. So let's see what we can do for our final lap of qualifying. So I know there's improvements to be made and time to be found on this lap, because there were a couple of instances where I was a bit slower on the last lap than I could have been. Definitely could have gone quicker in a couple of places, so let's hope I can do that here on this lap. I think I was better through there than last time, a little deep into there though, but I'm a 10th up. Bit slower out of there, but now we've got the overtake on to hopefully gain back a bit of that time, but only half a 10th up. Still understeered again. Done the same thing I did last lap there. So I'm barely gaining any time on this lap. Braked late into there. That's gained me a bit of time. Now we've got the run to the line of about a 10th and a half up, but I lost a lot of time because I used up my battery, so yeah, that's not going to move me anywhere. I'm still going to be 5th, but 5th is still a really good qualifying position for the race. Yeah, looking at Piastri's time, I maybe could have got 4th, but I think 3rd was probably a bit too far away. 3rd's a good starting position for Yuki Tsunoda in his home Grand Prix though, but I do have 3 quicker cars behind me in the top 10, so I'm expecting them to overtake me at some point during the race. But we're in a really good position for the race, and a good position to get some points, and hopefully have Sonny Hayes' first finish of the season, because he has DNF'd in all 3 races so far, so I want to finish the race in the points positions with Sonny Hayes. So let's go to the race now.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles. It's the only time during the season that we race on a figure-of-8 circuit. And the drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar. Keep an eye out for overtakes into the final chicane. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Piastri, Hayes, Charles Leclerc and Ocon, Russell, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, Bortoletto, Lawson, Ollie Behrman, Doohan, Pierce, Albon, Carlos Sainz and Nico Hülkenberg, Gasly, Stroll, Hadjar and Andrea Kimi Antonelli rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson, glorious Suzuka. It's a bit like Silverstone, an iconic track for which we couldn't have an F1 season without it. And so much for the drivers to think about around here.
Absolutely, Crofty. The only figure-of-8 circuit that we have on the calendar, and you kind of wonder, why don't we have more? Because it's such a good format. The drivers love this track. It's got a great flow to it, a fantastic circuit. Not the best for overtaking, but my goodness, from inside the car, it's a real treat for the drivers.
So as you will have just seen, we are up to 4th on the grid because Yuki Tsunoda has a grid penalty. And after me saying qualifying 3rd in his home race was really good for him, he's down to 8th. But that means we're up to 4th, which is even better for us. And this is the strategy I'm going with today. Going for a 2-stop soft, medium, medium. I know in the top strategy, it looks like the soft is going to be a fresh soft you go onto at the end. But I think that's a glitch because the only soft I can actually choose to put on is a used soft. And the times of the races are pretty much identical. And I'd rather start on a soft than finish on a soft because it will help me be better off the grid. So now let's go to the grid for the start of the race. So now we have the 5 red lights on. We're ready to go racing here in Japan. And we're off the line. And that is a great start from us, but I've almost spun into Oscar Piastri. But that is an amazing start from us. We're up into 2nd place already. Managed to get in between the 2 McLaren cars at the start. And that could not have been a better start for us off the line. But now we are very heavy on fuel around here. So we are much slower than we have been before in other laps in qualifying. But now we are in a great position. If anyone wants to get past us, they've got to overtake us. Max Verstappen already streaking away a little bit, so basically don't have to worry about him this race, really. He's gone. I think it'll be a bit of a stretch to try and win it anyway, but I just want as high a finishing position as possible. I'm not even necessarily thinking about a podium or anything, just a really good finishing position. And being 2nd at the end of lap 1 will really help with that. And Piastri has fallen back a little bit. And even though I may be quicker now, they're going to be quicker later in the race probably because Piastri's on the mediums now, Norris is on the hards, so it'll all depend on what happens later. And how good I can do in this opening stint on my softs. But that is why I wanted to be on softs. I got off the line so well and overtook both McLaren cars. Piastri's following me very closely here though. And I've got all the cars behind me quite close together, so I'm not able to build a gap, I don't think, so it's probably just a matter of time before Piastri overtakes me. But while I've got the clean air, I want to try and make the most of it. Gave myself 0.7 laps extra fuel at the start, but don't know if that wasn't enough, so managed to do a bit of fuel saving already. Oh my god, I shouldn't have got on the curb there. Getting on the curb there has definitely cost me some time, but I just won't do it again. And I can't see Norris in my mirror behind Russell, so he's not really close to me. Oh my god, I've been using overtake the whole way around this lap. I did not even realise. I've just drained all my battery completely. And now I can't use it here because I've just used it all.
Come on, you can win that place back.
That's a pretty poor mistake from me there, wasting all my battery. Piastri had a lock up there. I was so close to going into the back of him. I think Russell's going to overtake me here. I'm just going to have to concede the place, I think, because I've got no battery because I'm an idiot and used it all. The good thing is this S's section, you don't really need it at all in any of that, so gets it off the whole time pretty much. We're a little bit wide on exit though. I want to be able to stay close to these guys ahead. And I've gained back a lot of my battery now, so it's lost me those couple of places, but they're ones I probably would have lost anyway. It's probably not cost me too bad. I need to stop getting on curbs like that. It's really not helping me. Norris is coming up behind me here. Don't know if he's going to try and move, but we'll do a bit of fuel and battery saving into turn 1. Yeah, he's not made a move. I didn't think he'd be able to. But Russell's made a move on Piastri though. Okay, I've managed to gain back most of my battery here, so all that happened was it lost me a little bit of time. It shouldn't have cost me too heavily. Use a little bit more down here as well. Hopefully keep Norris behind. Don't want to burn it all though. I'm going to stick to the outside here. Coast in. Leave Norris the room, but he's not going to make a move, I don't think. Or is he? He is. I left him too much room apparently. Yeah, I'm going to back out of this. No point trying to throw myself in there when I know I was just going to get squeezed out. But that is the AI this year. They are much more aggressive. So I didn't think Norris was going to make a move in there, and he did. I think in previous years, he wouldn't have done that. I want to use Badger here. I want to stay at least within DRS range of Norris. I know I'm probably not going to get back past, but I want the DRS on him at least. And I have dropped Leclerc by a second, which is good. A little bit further behind Norris this time, but still going to use the battery to get the DRS on him. I am keeping touch with him, kind of. I mean, keeping him within DRS range is keeping in touch with him. And I think he's getting closer to the cars ahead as well. Okay, he has dropped me a bit there now. Maybe my softs are starting to fall off slightly.
Tyres are degrading fast. We can change strategy if you want. Check your MFD for details.
Okay. Mark has said I can change strategy if I want to, but why would I do what? That is the worst strategy ever.
Copy that.
But apparently you understood that. Tyres are degrading fast. How about we put you on one set of mediums until the end? No thank you, Mark. He has a bit of battery along here to try and stay ahead of Leclerc.
Okay, we're only 2 seconds behind the car ahead. Keep pushing.
I'm going to need to use quite a lot of it. See, he is coming through on the inside, but I've just stayed ahead of him.
No tyre concerns at the moment. Just focus on the driving.
You just told me a minute ago the tyres are going off. Make your mind up, bro. But then again, he told me the tyres were going off and then gave me the worst strategy in existence. So who knows if he knows what he's on about. But I am getting a lot more understeer out of that turn now every time. Let's see what my tyres are on. 30%-ish already, so they are quite worn. Oh no, come on, not another issue. Please don't do this to me again. I'm just waiting for him to tell me to retire the car. I don't want another issue where I've got to retire, please. Oh, thank God. Jesus. I did not want to retire from another race. And Sonny Hayes as well. Would have been his 4th retirement of the season. I'm sure if Sonny Hayes would have retired from that, he would have been hearing we have an issue in his nightmares like Charles does with Box Box. So much understeer out of there, but we are pulling away from Hamilton at the back of this train of us three, I think, so I'm not doing too bad at the minute. The front runners have pulled away, but these ones behind me, I am getting ahead of Hamilton a bit, and I got a bit of breathing room to Leclerc on this lap, so can do a bit of energy and fuel saving into turn 1, which I've not been able to for the last few laps. Oh, I've gone very, very wide here. Jesus Christ. Okay. That was rather poor from me. I got wide on the curb and then my car bottomed out. I was lucky not to spin there, to be honest. And now Leclerc is much closer to me and he's going to overtake me and I'm not even going to try and fight it. If Tsunoda tries it, I'll fight him, but not Leclerc. That's Hamilton. What? How long has Hamilton been behind me before? I thought it was Leclerc this whole time. Okay, disregard everything I said before. When I said Leclerc, pretend I was on about Hamilton. When I said Hamilton, pretend I was on about Leclerc. To be fair, that's on me. I should have checked the timing board on the left-hand side to see which driver was which. Got Tsunoda right behind me here. Don't want him to overtake me on this straight because it makes it more difficult into the chicane. Rather him overtake me into turn 1, which I think he will because he's quite close, but I'd just rather him do it there than here.
We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
And there goes Yuki Tsunoda. Now we are down into 7th, which is a bit disappointing after being 2nd at one point, and it's kind of my fault I lost that position, but I think it was going to happen anyway, that I'd end up down in 7th with these cars ahead of me. It's just a little bit earlier than I expected. But I've got a pretty decent gap to Ocon because he's 6 seconds behind Leclerc and I'm 2.5 ahead of him. So 8th is sort of my minimum aim for today. I think if I get 8th, I won't be necessarily happy, but I'll be satisfied and relieved to have actually been able to get points with the car I'm driving. But we've got a long way to go before then. Yeah, I can feel these softs really are starting to go off a bit now. And I'm going to be pitting this lap and it can't come soon enough, to be honest. These softs, I can really tell they're starting to go off the cliff. Ocon's gained a 2nd on me since I mentioned him before, so I really need this pit stop. understeer out of there once again, but we're coming in for the stop, so using full overtake down here, get as much time gained as possible for this pit stop. But now we come into the pit lane, ready for our pit stop. And we're at the first pit box here. We were right at the end of the pit lane in China. Now we're right at this end in Japan. It's a decent stop, 2.5 seconds, and now we go back out into the race. It's a really long pit lane here. We want to come out before this Williams does. And I made it out ahead of him. Hopefully, he's not on fresh tyres. And these mediums already, even cold, they are so much better than the softs were at the end of that stint. Now Bon is dropping off behind, so I can assume that he's on old softs. Now let's try and catch up to Ollie Behrman ahead, who isn't really my race, but it would be quite nice to make an on-track overtake. Oh, and Yuki Tsunoda's just coming out of the pits. Can I get round him and get ahead of him into the S's? I can, and he was someone who was ahead of me, I think, so I've managed to get an undercut on Tsunoda, but he has come out on softs, so don't know how long this undercut will last. And Tsunoda has been right on my tail this lap ever since he came out of the pits, so I'm not going to keep him behind for long, but like I did before, I want him to overtake me into turn 1 and not here. Joshua Pearce coming in for his stop now. I think he was about 12th when I came for my stop, so hopefully he can gain a couple of positions and finish a little higher than that. And Yuki has caught Behrman now. He's gapped me a lot in the S's, but Behrman is now holding him up. Oh, I was just coming up on Behrman, and I'm not going to be able to make a move on him because he's just gone into the pits, and I reckon I would have been able to this lap. I might have been able to follow Tsunoda through, or might have been able to next lap. So that's a bit disappointing, but it's fine. I'm back up into 8th now, which means there's someone ahead of me still needs to pit, I think, and that is Esteban Ocon. So I'm now only about 10 seconds behind. I'm not going to worry about pushing too hard to try and stay with Tsunoda here because he is on softs, so those will fall off towards the end of the stint, and I should gain the time back on him that he gains on me, or at least some of it. I'm not just going to let him pull away as far as he can. I'm still going to try and be quick, but I'm not going to push too hard to try and stay within the DRS. Although I should get it this lap. I've got some more people in the pits, and I'm up to 7th now. And Hamilton has just come out right ahead of Tsunoda here. And all this does is help us because he's holding up Tsunoda on his outlap with the cold tyres. Just helps us get closer to Yuki and helps us stay closer to him for longer. Thing is though, if Hamilton doesn't pull away a little bit, I might get stuck behind these and Leclerc might catch up to me a little bit too much. Hulkenberg's out of the session. I don't know where he was running, but he is out of the session now. It wasn't close enough to me for the yellow flag indicator to pop up on my screen. Yuki has pulled away a little bit now, and I said I wasn't going to use too much battery to try and stay with him, but I've got plenty to spare, so I'm going to use a bit to stay within the DRS.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 a lap.
That's good. Shows that I'm pulling away from Leclerc a little bit. The DRS on Yuki probably isn't hurting. It's pulled away a decent amount on me through there though, so I don't know if I'll be able to stay with him enough here to get the DRS next lap. Yeah, I think I'm going to be too far back here to be able to get the DRS, but that's fine. I was able to stay with him for pretty much about half his stint, maybe a little bit under. It's about 7 laps I think, so probably a little under half his stint, so when his tyres drop off I still should be fairly close to him.
Okay, so all of our tyre pressure data is currently reading 0. Assuming they still look inflated to you, I'm going to guess that it's just a bad sensor. Shouldn't be anything to worry about.
Yep, they look inflated to me. They feel inflated. I think there'd be a serious issue if my tyre pressures was 0. Yeah, Yuki's got about a second on me this lap, so he's pulling away a decent amount. I need Hamilton to pull away from him because he's still getting the DRS on Hamilton. That was pretty cool, hearing the cars go over me on the bridge as I drove under it. That was pretty cool. Well, Tsunoda's pulled about another second on me that lap, so might just be able to settle into my own race now with Tsunoda about 3 seconds ahead and Leclerc about 4.5 seconds behind. Just need to keep it clean, keep it consistent. Should just be able to settle into my own race now. I've just noticed Gabriel Bortoletto running 9th. We are pretty much halfway through the race now. Surely he's not had those mediums on since the start. Either way, if he has, or if he's pitted and he's still 9th, Very impressive. I've just noticed Joshua Pearce is 9th now, so he must have overtaken Bortoleto, so that's both members of our team in the points positions. That's good from Pearce because he was 12th earlier, so it's good that he's gained back a bit of ground.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Actually, what is my tyre wear on? Okay, low 20s, high teens. I think I got my pit stop in only 4 laps, so they should be in decent condition by the time I get there. Okay, Yuki's dropped off from Hamilton now, and I don't know if I'm gaining back on him yet, but I guess we're going to find out. So I'm 8 seconds behind at this point in the lap now, so let's see how far I am behind him at this point next lap. Well, it's now 8.7 seconds, so I think he is still a decent bit quicker than me. He is pitted now though, so those are about the end of his softs. So I am up into 5th now, but that won't last because I'll have to pit in a minute. I think next lap is my pit lap, and Leclerc is pit as well, so I don't want to get undercut by him, but I think I was far enough ahead that I shouldn't get undercut. So I'm going to be giving it full beans this lap because this is going to be my pit stop lap, so going to, yep, just like Mark just said, best in lap I can. And I definitely could have done better there. And better on the exit as well. Got a bit slidey. I was pushing through those S's though, like I haven't been so far in this race. Want a quick pit stop lap. I want a quick in lap, I mean. Battery on here, like I haven't been most of the race, but want to get that extra pace on my pit stop lap. In lap. Why do I keep calling it pit stop lap? Battery on down here as well. Be quick on my in lap. Got it right this time. Don't want to drain it completely though. Set up green sector 2, so I was definitely quick through there. Went a little deep there though, which isn't great, but not the worst thing in the world. Now we're coming into the pits for our second pit stop. No issues with the pit stop, 2.4 seconds, that's pretty good. Now I've just got to come out ahead of Leclerc. So Ocon and Sonny have just gone past. There goes Pearce and Bortoletto's just about to go past. And then Leclerc is behind me now, and he's 8 seconds behind, so that's gone pretty well. Well, it's now 5.5, but still went decent. Bortoletto's still up in 9th. I've been really impressed by him this race, but he must be on a 2-stop. This can't still be his first stint on the mediums. And if he is on a 2-stop, that kind of makes it even more impressive that he's managed to make his way up here at this point, or the point he did earlier. Joshua Pearce is just coming in for his pit stop, so hopefully he can finish the race in a good position. When other people pit, he will probably gain some places back. Bortoletto is squirming around on the rear end a bit. He's a little slow. I do want to dispatch him soon so Leclerc doesn't catch up to me too much. I want to finish this race ahead of Leclerc. I'm close out of the exit there, so I think I'm going to try and move into the chicane. Maybe a little bit slow on the exit there. I was a bit wary of the dirty air. And I might not try and move into the chicane. Depends how close I am after 130R. Oh no, I'm definitely close enough. I can make a move here. Go through on the curb on the inside. Try and get him on the outside now. And I managed to make it stick, and that is me through up into 8th place.
We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
Don't really need to do too much tyre management. The stint is the same length as the one before, and my tyres were pretty much fine at the end of that stint. And I've got a lighter fuel load now, so that should damage the tyres less. I don't know if that's how it works in the game, but it's how it works in real life, so hopefully it does work like that in the game. I want to overtake Ocon because I think he's on a 1-stop, because he started on the hards, so he's probably on a 1-stop. So I want to catch up to him and overtake him. Let's see how old Ocon's tyres are.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 2.3 seconds. Time last lap, 1 minute, 35.7. 19.7 seconds.
I guess we're not going to find out, but also Bortoletto just pitted, so kind of hope he finishes in the points. He's had a good race, I think, being up this high for this long. And my car is feeling noticeably lighter and more nimble now as well. You can definitely tell the fuel has burned off. Pretty close to Ocon now. Bit too far back to overtake into the chicane, I think, but I reckon on the main straight I can have him with the DRS, a bit of battery as well. Never mind. He's peeling off into the pits and he's not on a 1-stop, but at least I got the DRS. Fernando Alonso has just come out of the pits in 21st, and he is a back marker, so hopefully he lets me past, and hopefully it's soon, because I am hurting in the dirty air behind him. I think he's letting me past here. He is. Oh my god, he cut back in a bit. I thought we were going to have a collision there, me and Alonso.
Okay, so the car ahead's come in and fitted the soft tyre.
That Hamilton it is, and Sonoda is past Hamilton now. and quite a way past as well. Pulled out quite a decent undercut on him by the looks of it. And Joshua Pearce is 9th as well, but with that 20-second gap, I don't think he's going to catch Leclerc, so hopefully he can finish in 9th. And hopefully I can stay ahead of Leclerc and finish in 7th. Right, we've got 10 laps to go now. Still got around 3.5 second gap to Leclerc. So now I just got to keep doing what I'm doing and bring it home. It looks like Pearce has lost that 9th place, which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully he's in 10th at least. Yeah, it looks like he is. I've just taken a look at the track map and there is a gold dot behind a white dot, so I assume that's Pearce behind Ocon.
22.
Thank you. Mark must be a big Taylor Swift fan. Could really do with this race being over soon. My right hand is really starting to hurt. Don't know why it's just my right and not my left, but my right hand is starting to hurt. Might be because of the way I'm holding my steering wheel, because with my left hand I've got all 4 fingers gripping it, but with my right I've got my middle finger permanently on the upshift pedal, and I only move my middle finger to the downshift panel on the left when I need to downshift. I got my middle finger on my right hand permanently on the upshift pedal, so maybe that's it. And it's also getting very hot in my room, starting to get a bit uncomfortable. My legs are also aching a little bit. I just seen Russell's moved down to 5th, so I think that means Tsunoda's moved his way up to 4th, so I wonder if Tsunoda might try and be able to get back to 3rd and maybe get a podium in his home race. I've just realised there's a permanent subtitle at the bottom that just says 22. Guess I'm going to have to go and listen to some Taylor Swift after this race. Must be a sign. Only the old Taylor Swift though. I don't really like her new stuff since she became global super mega star. I like her old stuff from like the early 2010s when she was just really famous instead of really mega super famous. I've literally got nothing else to talk about at this point in the race, so we've moved on to talking about Taylor Swift. What's your favourite Taylor Swift song? Let me know in the comments. God, I want this race to be over. If anyone else has any suggestions of things I can talk about in boring points of the race like this, then let me know and I'll bring it up next time. So I've really just been sat in silence for like 10-15 minutes while I'm finishing this race. Oh yeah, it was the Spanish Grand Prix today as well in real life. I watched that just before doing this. What do people think of that? Should Verstappen have been disqualified instead of just getting a 10-second penalty for his incident with Russell? Let me know what you think. Okay, I'm on the penultimate lap now. I'm almost there. Okay, the last lap. One final tour of Suzuka and this is over. And Max Verstappen has won the Japanese Grand Prix, and we'll have to see who else is on the podium. Probably Norris and Piastri though. I just noticed Russell's down into 6th, so Hamilton's overtaken him too. I'd like it if Yuki got on the podium though. I don't think he will have done, but I would like it if he does in his home race. I've just noticed my fuel as well. I've measured that pretty well. Did a bit of fuel saving in my first stint and not had to do any since. But now I'm rounding the final corner and I'm going to bring it home in 7th place. So that is Sonny Hayes' first points of the season, his first race finish of the season. And that is the first points I've scored when driving with the driver as well. And our teammate Josh Pearce gets the driver of the day. So I think that's a pretty good race for us overall.
The checkered flag is out. We're going to be hearing that Dutch national anthem again because it's victory for Max Verstappen.
They led from lights out to the flag at the end, and their race victory was never in doubt, was it? Brilliant stuff by them.
There's room for 3 on their podium, but only ever 1 right at the top. Let the celebrations begin. One of the all-time greats celebrates yet again. It's another podium, it's another top step for Max Verstappen.
And Yuki Tsunoda wasn't able to get himself on the podium, but 4th in his home race, not too bad. And as you see, we finished 7th with 6 points, and Josh Pearce manages to get 1 point, finishing in 10th. So double points for the team, so that's a good weekend for us. Our best one of the season. And I'm so relieved to have finally got points in the car I'm driving. I say finally, it's only the 3rd race of the season, but after DNF in the first race and the 2 poor performances in China, I'm glad to have been able to get points here. And it's good for Sonny Hayes as well, his first finish of the season, and he finishes in 7th place. Bit disappointing finish finishing down in 7th after being 4th on the grid and then getting up to 2nd at one point. And the reason that I got overtaken by Piastri was my own fault by having overtake on and then being really slow the next lap because I wasn't able to use any. So it's a bit annoying he got past me in that way, but I think all the drivers that did get past me would have got past me anyway. So I don't think it made much of a difference. It just happened sooner rather than later. But I'm glad I was able to finish ahead of Leclerc. I really thought he would have got past me at some point, but he didn't. He was pretty slow today. So overall, a really good race, I think. And right after that race, I've immediately got a corporate facility event, so let's take a look at this. So I've got a chance for the team to basically have a VR F1 simulator, which would be good for fans, and it's going to cost 50k, so I think that's a good idea. So apparently I can go into early talks with Sonny for next season's seat, so I'm going to do this. Here's the poster boy of Apxgp, so I've got to keep him around. So those are his terms at the moment, and they say over time and with more talks I can reduce these demands. But I think the engineering workforce and the vehicle performance, I might already have more than that anyway. I know the vehicle performance is definitely higher than that, but the fan rating is the one I'm worried about because we're at 1 at the minute, so I need to get closer to that. So there wasn't actually anything I could do or interact with there. It was sort of just there and telling me some stuff. But now I'm going to do some research projects because I've got a decent amount of R&D points, so let's spend some of these. And I think I'm going to go for this big rear downforce upgrade with the Halo. And that'll be researched just after Saudi, so hopefully I can develop those parts before Miami. And then in chassis, I'm going to buy the monocoque structure upgrade, so that's the one that gives me the biggest upgrade at this point. And the timescale on that is the same as the Halo. And now I can do development on an aero part, so I've got an extra slot available. And I'm going to go for the DRS maximum slot gap because they'll be ready for Miami, and that has got 2 long straights, so I think having better DRS would be more useful than having a better front wing. Now I'm going to set some activities for before we get to Bahrain, but I've only got 2 days, so I don't know if I'll actually be able to set any. Can only set this fan outreach one. But now let's advance. So my development expansion for the chassis has completed, so I think that means I can develop 2 chassis parts at the same time now. So I'm going to develop the tyre blankets to help me improve tyre wear. And my powertrain and durability upgrades are also done, so going to develop them as well. And the powertrain one can be done before Imola, and the same with the durability one. And now I've got a free slot for a facility improvement, and I'm going to go with the quality and life improvements for the chassis to make morale easier to improve and harder to damage. But now we've done everything we can before Bahrain. So the last thing I want to do now is show you the standings. Joshua Pearce is 8th in the championship with 9 points, and Sonny Hayes now up to 11th with those first 6 points of the season. And we are in 5th in the constructors, and that is where our title sponsor wants us to finish at the end of the season. So we're looking like we're in good shape for it. And every team having points so far, so that's pretty impressive. Shows that midfield is pretty tight if everyone can score points after 3 races. And there's 5 drivers without points, which are 4 of the 6 rookies and Lance Stroll. Of course, the other one would be Lance Stroll. But now that is where I'm going to end this episode, and it's been a very good episode today. Managed to get our first points on the board with me driving the car, and we got double points to the team. So there's not really too much to complain about. It's been a really good episode. And if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like. If you want to carry on watching this series, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.